Welcome in NFL fans, Atlanta Falcons
Yo.
fans, and all of the Star Wars fans that have now realized have made a terrible mistake. This is the new Millennium Falcons podcast brought
Mm-hmm.
to you by Around the Block Network. Shout out to those guys over at atbnetwork.com. Please go and go and see all the content over there, all the podcasts that they have. I am one of three of your amazing hosts. My name is Savion Mixon. To my right, I got my boy Fleek at Ron Rico Season on Twitter. Fleek, how you feeling, man?
I'm all right, man. Hey, listen, coming off of draft weekend, we'll get to it, but I'm feeling good. My baby kitten is making strides. She gonna be 10 weeks Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Doing her thing, so that's making me proud. Working hard out here, man.
Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
sir. Yes,
go.
sir.
You love to see it, man. You love to see it. And on the
Yes,
bottom,
sir.
repping the beautiful throwback hat. My God, Hunter Thompson at H Thompson FB on Twitter. My guy,
Yes,
how are
sir.
you feeling?
I've been like void of emotions for about the past week now.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. That about sums it up. If you are looking at the title, bro, it is a 2024 NFL Draft Talk. We have to get into that, but also we have to ask ourselves how many times will we fall for these games that the Atlanta Falcons love to play with their fans, man?
How
How
could
You
many
they do
times
thought?
are
this?
we going to?
Wait. Did y'all think that the Falcons were really gonna go into the draft and go chalk? Like y'all, you really thought? Wait, you sat here and believed Edge One was coming to the Falcons?
Edge one, your
I thought I
choice,
thought
Hunter, wait.
corner I thought
your
corner
choice
one
of
was
ice cream
coming.
flavor.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you haven't been paying attention.
You haven't learned,
You haven't learned. You gave somebody the benefit of the doubt when you shouldn't have. But we'll get to
and
that later.
we're gonna get into all of that, man. But we're not gonna bury the lead, man. We got to talk about this, man. We're not gonna bury it. We can't. We have to
Yeah.
talk about what everyone's talking about. First overall, eighth overall pick. I mean, first round pick, eighth overall pick. The
Hmm.
Atlanta Falcons select Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr.
Correct.
When you said first overall for a second there, I got excited. I thought we were going to talk about Caleb Williams. I thought we were going to talk about the
Oh, you thought we
Bears.
was gonna go down
I thought we were going to
to
have,
eight?
I thought we were going to enjoy the draft for a second.
That's, I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry. We're not.
Oh yeah,
We
there
don't
was
have
a
the.
draft outside of the
We don't.
Falcons.
We don't have the. We don't have the capabilities to get guys like Caleb Williams on this team. No.
No, no.
No. What we do is we go and get guys like Michael Penix Jr. Speaking of which, Hunter Thompson, you were live and in the flesh, is 10 toes down at the draft party, my guy. What happened? How are you feeling?
Man, I was sitting there, Falcons picks on the clock. Everyone's, excited, trying to figure out what it is. And it says pick is in, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, here we go!" It's go time. Like,
Yeah, because we could have traded down. There was a lot of talk of us, trading down to maybe go and get somebody else, maybe trading
exactly.
down and get more capital and still be able to get the first defensive player off the board, which by the way did not come off the board until pick 15, first time that's ever happened in NFL
15.
history.
Correct. But it says pick is in, and everyone's kind of sitting there, like, oh, who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Latu? Is it gonna be Turner? Is it gonna be Quinyon Mitchell? Maybe pick Rome. The possibilities are endless, and then it pans to
Yes, they were.
Rappaport, and he just said, I'm not quite sure what he said. All I heard was Michael Penix Jr., and I sat there for a second. I said,
Because okay,
I looked at my buddy, and I said, there's no way. There's no way we picked Penix at 8. And then, sure as shit, Michael Penix Jr. at 8, and I don't hear anything outside of my two friends that I was with. One's a Bills fan and one's a Bears fan, laughing, audibly laughing at me and my reaction.
yes sir.
And there's nothing more demoralizing than being at your own draft party and
Woo!
getting laughed at.
Home field advantage.
No. So how do you think Kirk Cousins feels?
I don't care. I don't, man. I've been on this whole thing. Like, I texted Savion about this, like when the whole Kirk thing came out, and I was still mad at the world about Kirk's whole.
Yeah.
I don't care, dude. He's a player. Like, he's 36. He's coming off an Achilles injury. It's a business. He should know that it's in the realm of possibilities. Like, I don't think picking a guy in the first round is necessarily like a great business practice, but I don't think there's any room for Kirk to be dropping a statement about it. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know, man. It's a business. I understand that might be an unpopular opinion, but it's a business.
I don't know, man. Like, you sit here because you got to think about it from Kirk's point of view. I know you don't want to. I know nobody wants to. Nobody cares. Like the dude's making $100 million guaranteed. Like that's already in the that's escrow. That's already in the bank. You know what I'm saying? so nobody really wants to talk about the millionaires the millionaires freaking part in this. But he said in the offseason, it's not about the dollars. It's about what the dollars represent. First of all, it's always about the dollars. Come on, Kirk. It's always about the dollars. It's always about the money. Like who's really coming in here? Who's really coming in here? Who wants Kirko James? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's we. But either way, he did. But I think he really did want a home. I think he really did want somewhere to say, listen, this is where I am, and this is where I'm going to be for the remainder of my career, however long I have left. He don't want to be moving around with his kids, man. His kids are how old? You know what I'm saying? But I say all of that to say it is a business, and the Kirk part of this is not what anybody's worried about, quite honestly. The Kirk part of this should not be, what gets you upset.
Like, dude, Kirk's having his job. Like, he's not in contention.
Kirk has a job.
He's not going to lose his starting spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. Kirk has his job. Kirk is good. Kirk is good. That's not the part that's upsetting. What's upsetting is, what's potentially upsetting, because some people are not upset at all. Some people love this.
Yeah.
What's potentially upsetting is the process and how unprecedented the process is.
Yeah.
How we essentially, and I love how Aaron Freeman put it on Locked On Falcons, how we essentially said we are smarter than everybody else. We are going to go and we are going to get this quarterback. We're good. This roster right now, we're good. We're making the playoffs. Yeah. We'll get into that too. We're making the playoffs. We're good to go.
Yep.
But we need to make sure that what happened last year, what happened the year before that, never happens again.
Yeah.
And on the surface, I understand that argument, but I want to go deeper than that. So I'm going to start with you, Fleet. When you hear Terry Fontenot essentially say, yes, we could have went somewhere else, but this had to be done first. What does that say to you?
From Terry Fontenot or from Raheem Morris?
Both of them.
So with Terry, I'm actually pretty surprised. And only because I'm surprised, but I'm not. I'm surprised because this is Terry's 4th season. So if we don't do what we need to do this season, not saying Terry's out the door, but you're brushing up on year 5 with no success. Like you're playing a dangerous game at that point. But at the same time, exactly what you just said, whether they're wrong or right, it's what they believe. They believe, and they've been saying it this all season, and I'm thinking, man, that's just coach speak. That's just making your guys feel good about themselves. That's boosting team morale through guys hearing what you're saying about them in the media, because they kept saying, man, we feel like we can go out there and play a game right now. They're like, we're good. Like, we can suit up on Sunday and go. Few spots we need to address, but we can suit up on Sunday and go. Coach speak, I thought, but they truly believe that because they use the premium asset on a future investment. And that's where the other side I can see Terry doing this and it not being shocking. Because if I'm in Terry's mind and I'm like, yeah, we're good this year because we got Kirk, and that's what I truly believe we were missing.
Yep.
And I think we'll be competitive and make the playoffs. Okay, cool. I did just go 3 years in QB hell. I really did. I went through helicopter passes. It's really crazy the type of things Terry Fontenot was subjected to seeing his quarterback do over the last 3 seasons.
In his first job as a GM.
And his first job as a GM. Like, not only was the QB play bad, at some times it was like indescribable. Let's just call it what it is. Like, they were making mistakes that weren't just, oh, he's selling passes. It was so much more than that. Like, these guys were losing games for us.
Yeah.
So I can see why Terry could say, not only were we playing with a net negative, we was playing with a big ass net negative. And Kirk Cousins is a net positive, at least. I don't know if he's going to be the same guy necessarily coming back from Achilles, but even if he's 80% of what he was, that's 100% better than what we just had.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the other part of it, obviously, is the contract, right? It's the money. It's the investment in Kirk.
So much money.
So much money. But I want people to remember, it's just money. And it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy because you only get a set number of it. These guys eat money, bro. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's good process. But for all the people that are like, oh, Kirk's for sure playing out his contract here, I don't believe that. I'm not saying it's going to happen next year, but at some point, the Falcons, if they look at Penix and he's showing them that he's ready, he's already an older prospect, bro. If he's ready to go, they will eat that money. And I know it's like, yes, you eliminate a big part of the benefit of having a quarterback on a rookie deal because you're not paying anybody at that position. You would still be paying somebody. But if Michael Penix is coming in and playing top 15, top 10 quarterback type of play for you, hell, act like he making $30 million that year. It is what it is. Exactly. It is what it is. You ruined one aspect of it, but if he hits, you hit for 10 plus years. Maybe. Because he would be like 35, 36, even after 10. Right?
Right.
Let's just say you hit for 10.
But you get stability.
Then, exactly.
You get stability. Yeah.
You get stability. Terry has lacked stability since the second he stepped foot into this organization.
Boy, what? And the thing is, I feel like, and to just go with you on this, I feel like who was it? Kyle Smith? I don't want to mess up his name. The guy that
our assistant GM. Yeah.
Assistant GM, yeah. What Kyle he said, thank you, Hunter. I wanted to make sure. He said something very impactful today. He said, listen, this was the first time in our years here that our guy was sitting there in the first round and we had a chance to get him.
Yep. Staring at him.
And because they had a chance to go get Justin Fields, that wasn't they got. They had a chance. They wanted Trey Lance. But
Trey Lance.
But the 49ers went up and got him.
Yep.
I think that he got PTSD from that Patrick Mahomes situation in New Orleans, which, by the way, thank you so much, Andy Green.
Could you imagine?
If we had to see Patrick Mahomes with freaking Sean Payton, I don't think it would be like magic like those two have. Because those two, that's just that.
That's crazy.
You can't
it'd
find
be
it.
Unreal.
But it would still be obviously top 5 offense, pretty much a continuation of what we saw with Drew Brees. And that's the last thing that we would have needed in the NFC South. Because
I swear.
Because that would have made this process that much more strenuous.
Oh yeah.
Peyton would have never left.
Peyton would have
he'd still be there.
Never left.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm going on. Hunter, how do you feel about this whole thing, man? How do you feel about this entire brouhaha?
There's so many layers to it because it's like, okay, on one hand, I'm like, I get why. If you truly don't believe you're going to be picking top 10 again anytime soon,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the QB that you had at QB2 sitting there at pick 8, you got to like smash yes. For me, I'm just more confused on. It's honestly at this point more the rest of the draft. Like, I don't like the Penix pick, but like I see why you pick him.
And we'll get to the rest of the draft.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, absolutely. Like I
We'll
see
get
why
to
you
the
pick
rest of the draft,
Penix.
too.
You know,
Mhm.
he's got a big arm. He's experienced. Just came off a natty run. Didn't win, but like came off a natty run.
Yeah.
And he kind of fits what it seems like Zach Robinson likes in his QBs.
That Matt Stafford role. That Matt Stafford kind of guy.
Robinson loves Herbert. He loved Mahomes and obviously Stafford. And it's like, okay, I see why Penix is the guy over like a JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the route I would have went, but I see why they did it. But I also see why people are very upset with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, in my eyes, you were so hell-bent on getting rid of Desmond Ridder, right? You go pay Kirk Cousins the $180 million. Cool. Easy. Sick. And then after that is when you decide you fall in love with Michael Penix. And I'm like, at that point, it's like, why pay Kirk that much money before you do your research on it, any of the real QB prospects, like in depth? Because it's like, that's what I can't wrap my head around, because I'm like, it'd be one thing if like, okay, I didn't really do my research. Like, we didn't send a group out to meet him and we just picked him. You know, it's like, okay, we just like him, so we're just going to pick him here today anyway. But when we send the whole group out to meet him and watch him throw, it's like, okay, so we do like him. Why did we not have anybody see him throw in person before this point in time?
Before this.
Because our scouting department never got overturned. Terry never got overturned.
Yeah.
And Kyle Smith, the entire front office never changed. And so for me, it's like, you waited so long to do this QB research. Now you're stuck with a $100 million bridge QB.
This is the thing, though. And this is what infuriates me about the Kirk thing even more. I don't think they waited, because Kyle Smith made a comment today about how Penix was on the original scout that brought Penix up, brought him up last year. So Penix had been on their radar since he dropped 4,500 last year as well. And they watched his whole season this year where he took him to the Natty. He did his best season, second runner-up Heisman voting. They watched all that. And yeah, Raheem wasn't here, but like Terry knew about Michael Penix. Like, and granted, I get the familiarity Raheem has with Kirk. Kirk was the best on the market. And even if Terry did fall in love with the abilities Penix has, I don't know that he thinks that Penix could start day one. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he likes him enough where he says, hey, that's a guy that if we can tweak a couple things, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He can fully believe that, but think just not right now, right? That doesn't warrant $100 million guaranteed to me. And that's my biggest problem with this whole thing. It's not even taking Penix. Because if you want to argue value, you can argue value. But Bo Nix went 12, right? There were some teams trying to apparently trade up for Penix. Like, the value was what it was. He wasn't going to make it to the back end of the first, or he wasn't going to make it to the second. So the Falcons liked him. They did what they did. They had to take him there. I seen Schefter was like, why didn't you trade back with New York to possibly get him? To possibly pick up a fourth or something. And I get that. But that's like, that's when you're risking a QB that you love. I'm not really thinking, let me try to trade back and get a day 3 pick. Like, I'm not thinking that.
You can't do that. So, not if you truly fall in love with a guy.
If you fall in love with a guy. So my thing is, picking Penix at 8 isn't, for me, the issue. It's retroactively doing that after you sign Kirk to that contract. We should have never signed Kirk Cousins to that kind of contract. And if that's what it took to bring Kirk here, then clearly they just say, you know what, forget it. We'll do it. Right? But me, if it took that, I would have went the Russell Wilson route, or I would have brought Justin Fields here to be a mini bridge or something.
I don't have an issue with them paying Kirk. Like, I really don't. Like, and like I said, if that's your guy, like if that's the QB that you're like, this is going to be the guy that's going to win us a Super Bowl, then yeah, you pick him at 8. I just
do they think he's going to win us a Super Bowl?
Kirk or Penix?
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, Kirk?
Yeah.
No, I think he's going to make us playoff, like a perennial playoff team, which we already have now the heir to him. Literally, my entire gripe is just the lack of seeing them in person before we signed Kirk. That's just my complaint. But
yeah, it's a weird process. Like, I mean, I've never seen this. I don't think a lot of people can remember seeing anything like this. And I think what's messing most people up, from what I've heard, is just the allocation of assets. And when you look at the cap and you look at the history of the Falcons and Terry Fontenot, these guys have no problem eating dead money. And you don't want to hear that, because that's going to stop us from being able to sign better players in free agency in years to come. But, like, you just have to take it for what it is. They're not afraid of dead cap money.
No, and there's not a reason to be. Like, Terry is a cap guy. Like, that is where Terry made his money and how he got to this position, is being a cap guy. Yeah. And it's been painfully clear that Terry does know how to run that cap.
Yeah, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, man, Terry's whole, like, we know his day 2 type of thing, the history of second round picks, but like overall, I think Terry has been a fine GM. This draft, the outcome is gonna like
there's a huge variance there. There's a huge variance to where this draft goes.
I literally said I gave this draft a C- with like A upside. Just because, I mean, if Penix hits, it's an A automatically for me. Because that's a franchise quarterback. Especially if he's top 10. Come on, like top 10 quarterback in the league. Come on. Like, and I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying. In their mind, he could be that. That's why I'm saying that. But if it works, boom. Right? And then, because if it works and Penix is top 10 next year and Rook Ororo has learned from Grady and he starts making noise in a year or two, like, and then you address edge next year. The thing is, I've switched my mind. You can
talk yourself into it. Yeah.
I can talk myself into it, because I talked myself into Kirk and I talked myself into win now. And I didn't believe that before we signed Kirk, but I talked myself into that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm talking myself into the future again. I don't know.
So real quick, we got to get to a couple of these comments. Number 1.
We got a lot of comments rolling.
All right, Matthew, why did we just cut Taylor Heineke? What's the point of redoing his deal? Simply because
lack of process.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, it was Kirk and Heineke for a while there. I'm pretty sure that, and also he could just be a good buffer. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say the opening opening depth chart comes out, and you don't want to have everybody up in arms with the fact that Kirk Cousins is right behind, or that Michael Penix is right behind Kirk Cousins, nipping at his heels. Just put Taylor Heineke right there, number 2.
He could also be a good locker room guy.
Yeah.
Oh, number 1. Oh, for sure.
For those XFL boys, Taylor Heineke was a good locker room guy with the Battlehawks.
Yeah. This is true.
Gotta love it. Carrie, very nice to see you anytime you're in the chat.
Of course.
Coach RB, I don't know what that's.
Michelob Ultra.
That's what I'm drinking tonight. It was in the fridge, and I'm trying to shed a few pounds.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Nice.
Shed a few pounds. What are you going through?
Yo, your boy's got chubby.
What are you going through?
My boy Jack, I took the captain TF with premium positions all the way to round 5. I can't complain. I like the draft class, to be honest. Cool with it.
Is a defensive tackle a premium position?
Defensive tackle isn't premium. I see what you're saying. I think he's
trying to say double pass rush isn't premium.
I guess he's trying to say pass rush, which is I get it sort of, but
I can't wait till we get on that too. Like, get past the pennies.
I'm glad our boy Jack's. I'm just glad Jack's here.
Can
Nice.
never go wrong.
Okay, am I tripping? That's Jack?
That's Jack.
That's Jack. Yes.
Yo, Jack. Hey, so Jack, wait. You like the Penix thing? I still need him to come away with a CB. Yes, bruh. Jack, that was my problem with this draft, is that we didn't come away with it.
And we are getting into it. That's why I had to stop you at 25 minutes of Penix talk.
We talked ourselves into Bijan, man. It doesn't get no worse than that.
You better
Listen.
Watch your mouth.
Hey, I love Bijan.
On God. Man, it's going to be the X factor this year. But
Oh yeah.
But yeah. We're gonna get out of the Michael Penix thing, man. We can talk about this for the entire pod if we wanted to, but we got to keep going. And we got to get to the rest of the draft because there were 7 more picks outside of this, outside of Michael Penix, if you can believe it. So get to round 2, pick 35, which is not what we had before.
Right, I thought we had 43, Savion. What happened?
We did have 43. We actually gave up that extra third rounder that we so lovingly took from Jacksonville to move up and take Clemson defensive end Rook. What?
Yeah, it's 3 rows in there.
Rook?
A row. Yeah.
Rook.
Yep.
Rook. Yeah. I like that. So, Toolsy picked there at 35. Then you go and you wait a little bit. You wait 39 picks to pick number 74. You get Washington outside linebacker Braylon Trice.
Yes, sir.
Absolute. Now that one we can get into a little bit later. Get to day 3. Start day 3 off with Oregon defensive end Brandon Dorless. And then from there, it gets a little dicey. Notre Dame linebacker J.D. Bertrand, just from up the street. Alabama running back Jason McClellan. Illinois wide receiver Casey Washington. You couldn't help yourself. And Georgia defensive end Zion Logue. Logue or Log?
So.
I'm going to say
I think it's Logue. It looks like Logue, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to say Logue. So, 8 picks, 7 outside of the pick that everybody wants to talk about. Talk to me, guys. What is you guys' favorite pick? Let's start with that. I think we're all going to have the same one here. Let's start with you, Hunt.
Favorite's Braylon Trice. Like, that's by far my favorite pick. I like he was good at getting pressures and stuff up at Washington. I think that'll be nice. Hopefully, I bet he can kind of clean it up. I think he'll just be a good physical tone setter off the edge. I just think for where we picked him, I expect him to contribute. I don't know if he's going to be like a star or anything like that, but I think he'll be a contributor. He'll carve his way into the rotation. And it'll be fine.
He'll carve away. Yeah, could 100% see that. Fleek, what you got from
him? Man, like my favorite pick in the entire draft.
Favorite pick.
If I'm not saying Trice, I guess I would go Dorless. Like from the little that I have seen of him, he seems like a dog from out of Oregon. Bit of a tweener, but like dude's like athletic. Like just watching him play, like I mean, he looks like he brings some power, some quickness. Whether it's inside, I know he plays on the edge at times. I don't know their plan for him, but I think if you find a guy that can move up and down the defensive line, especially with us lacking edge help, we gotta create pass rush in like somewhere, whether it be from the interior or the outside. So I think it was a good investment bringing him in, especially on day 3, being able to bring him in. Great value.
And that's exactly why that's also my favorite pick is Brandon Dorless, because it's just great value, man. The dude was projected to be like late second to mid third, I think was his range, and we pull him in at number 109. I mean, you can't beat that. Dude's obviously going to be moved all around the line. From he's what is he, 3 tech to 5 tech. It works. It works, and I feel like he's going to be a solid contributor throughout his tenure here. But
Yeah.
all right, guys. So now that we've gotten the pleasantries out of the way, who was you guys' least favorite pick outside of Penix, if that was your least favorite pick?
Penix wasn't my least favorite pick.
So here's your actual least favorite pick here. Okay, I like this.
Yeah. And I feel so bad. It's not about the guy. It's not about the player.
It never is. It never is.
It never is. It's Ruka Rororo, bro. And I like Ruka Rororo from what I've seen of him. And it's not that fact that, oh my God, Terry reached so far. I had a 3rd round grade on this guy. It's not even that. It's the fact that we traded our 3rd round pick. You guys don't understand how much that bothered me because we needed every single pick. We left out of this draft without a cornerback. That should have never happened. We left out of this draft without a safety. Okay, I get it. They still believe in Richie. They believe in Helms. I get it.
Completely
right?
fine with that.
Completely cool. You don't want a safety? Fine. A corner, I felt like, you double dip that defensive tackle too. It's like, you traded up for a guy that wasn't even really consensus best at his position, but they said they have a plan for him. So if he fits what we're going to do better than Johnny Newton, then okay, makes sense. But to trade your 3rd round pick for that bugged me because you still took him before like a Cooper DeJean, like a Kool-Aid McKinstry. Like these are like guys that I just personally believe are instant difference makers day one. Like I believe either of those guys would have started next to AJ Terrell like next year. That's just my personal belief. But I just don't like the process again of that pick. It kind of threw off. It didn't throw off the whole draft, obviously, but it threw off the extra 3rd round, and it threw off that specific pick for me. Like, and I hope that he comes in and great upside, like you said, super athletic for a guy his size. Like, if he can figure it out, man, that could be a boom, right?
That's a boom, yeah.
But man, like that takes time. I get it, but after the 2nd round history that Terry already kind of has, and I like Bergeron from last season. I think Bergeron is going to be fine. I think Bergeron is going to be good.
Good, yeah.
But like, man, like, is this just another 2nd round pick that we're going to have to wait 3 or 4 years to see? Like, oh, fine, there he is. Like, there's his upside.
That's what Terry saw. That's what Terry.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, not to compare him, he's not Marlon Davidson. I hope, but it's like, but it's like how, like,
don't ever say that.
But it's like when you draft a project in the 2nd round, it's like
consistently,
man, you consistently doing this, and you're not hitting on a consistent rate so far. Things could change, but like I said, even if they do now, that's 4 years down the road, 5 years down the road, or 4 years down the road, and now you have a big decision. Let's say Richie balls out this year. Now you got to see, is you going to pay Richie off of 1 year of him balling out?
In this safety market? Yeah, I am. Because paying him...
In this safety market? In this economy?
Paying him is cheap.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right. But
you
yeah, I guess
Richie to extend like a 4-year for like $4 million each year. I'm paying that.
Oh, you're saying $4 million each year? Well, okay, I guess.
Anyway. All right. So Ruka Rororo is yours. Oh, I'm getting the hang of that. I like that.
Yes.
Hunter, least favorite pick.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna pick Rook, but I'm gonna go a little bit different because I don't want to feel like I'm just doubling down again. And this one's once again, I don't hate the player. It's never about the player, guys. I know it's never about the player. Well,
these guys have the right makeup. These guys have the right makeup.
Player. But this time it's not about the player. This is literally just on the grounds of we drafted another freaking running back. Like, it's nothing against McClellan. I'm sure he's a good guy, you know. I'm sure he's gonna contribute. Dog. We drafted another one.
Yeah.
We've drafted one every single year Terry Fontenot's been GM.
Yeah, we have, huh?
Avery Williams.
Everyone was a corner when he came out.
Oh, converted to running back.
Oh yeah, he sure was a corner. I forgot.
He had nothing to do with that. He was a cornerback when he came out.
Then obviously Bijan, Tyler, now McClellan. It's like,
hey man, what can I say?
bro, another.
We got an eye for great running backs.
If it helps, all three running backs will probably see the field at some point in time this year.
That doesn't help.
Okay.
Why does that not help?
Why does that not help? It's a 6th round pick. It's a 6th round pick.
We could have got a vet and saved the 6th round pick to sign a corner or something. Get a corner. Get a safety.
Get okay. Let me ask you a question. What if Jace McClellan gets in the game?
Don't you say it.
It runs like a 37-yard touchdown. Is that worth of a 6th round pick?
Are you gonna sit here and say one touchdown?
It's 186. It's 186. There's a lot of 6th round picks that don't even see the field, buddy. I don't know.
I'm just saying, bro. It's some 6th round picks that's not gonna make it through training camp this offseason.
You don't even see the field, bro.
I'm just saying, bro.
Listen, if we draft another running back next year, like every single year that we keep drafting a running back while we have Bijan and Tyler on roster, it's going to be my least favorite pick. It's going to be my least favorite one. We have two rookie rushers that should have each hit 1,000 yards in their rookie season, and we proceed to go add another one. This isn't Arthur Smith's Falcons anymore.
Is it though?
No.
No, it's not.
If it helps, the run game is essential to a Shanahan McVay type scheme.
This is true, Hunter.
Are you saying the 7th or 8th overall running back from last year can't carry that load on his own, or the 1,000-yard BYU product can't carry it on his own?
Well, see, Hunter, there comes a time, right, in every running back's life where you just want a little assistance. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna tap their head, man.
I want to be on here every snap, man.
It's gonna be like week 15. Tyler gonna hit one of these. Bijan still sitting down, and Jay's gonna get a couple carries, bro. And you're gonna be like, and he gonna do a couple little moves, cause see, Jace, he a patient runner sometimes, but see, sometimes he can explode through. I'm telling you, cause I'm a Bama fan, so I'm letting you know, Hunter, cause I don't know if you watched them. You know what I'm saying? He gonna give you a couple of. I tell you what, you remember when what was that running back we signed from the Giants 2 seasons ago?
Are you talking about Wayne Gallman?
Wayne Gallman. He gonna give you a couple Wayne Gallman carries.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're gonna get out of Jason McClellan this season.
Let's go. Hey, hold on, guys. Before we continue on with the Jason McClellan talk, because we are going to continue with the Jason McClellan talk.
I don't want to.
Too bad. We got to bring our boy in. That boy Trey Wayne made it to the chat. Philly.
So, dude.
I'm not much. How y'all doing?
Pretty good,
Trey, we're having a ball, man. We're having a ball.
Yeah. We're having fun.
All right. Good to hear. So we got to get you up to speed. We talked about Michael Penix a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean 25 minutes worth of Michael Penix talk. So we're just gonna continue to add on to that. How do you feel about the Michael Penix, the entirety of the Michael Penix experience so far?
I think from the beginning, it's not been about the player at all.
It never is.
Yeah, no, it is just about this process, and trying to, I guess, rationalize the Kirk signing, which is 6 weeks ago. It's like not even like it hasn't even been a full 2 months.
Ain't not even dry.
And just kind of, really looking at the roster, trying to match up quotes with the moves and everything like that. I think at this stage, it still annoys me, but I'm definitely more annoyed, I think, by a lot of the narratives that are now starting to surround the pick, because most of them are highly inaccurate. And I feel like we're focusing on the wrong parts.
And it's on both sides of the.
Agreed.
Yeah.
of it that he's discussing. But what narratives are you saying specifically? Like on both, like as I said, they're on both sides. So
Yeah, I think I think for the pro Penix crowd, I think the narrative coming out of that group that's most off is that this roster is spoiled
Ready.
enough with talent to be able to make this move. We've covered pretty much all the needs that we had anyways, and that this is a Super Bowl roster. That's the biggest one from the pro camp that I'm seeing. And then the biggest one from the camp that's against it is the idea that Penix would have been there in a trade down scenario, or that Penix would have been there in the 20s or round 2 or anything like that. We saw like JJ McCarthy and then Bo Nix go, like it's clear that he was
Bo
not
Nix
going to
went
make it to the
12th.
20s, like let alone past. Maybe
The
Minnesota
Raiders.
didn't want him, but I think in the scenario in which he goes, the Raiders probably did get the trade up off and made the move for him or whatever. So I just don't think that is realistic coming out of that side either.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I feel like you in the way that I had a more of a problem with the process than the pick itself. I still question why we signed Kirk Cousins or why we committed so much. And I know at least initially that was, I think, the biggest shocker is the fact that we just committed so much money to a guy over a certain amount of years. And what I was just saying earlier is, for some odd reason, Terry Fontenot is okay with eating dead caps. So I think that he's already taken into account that in any event that we have to let Kirk go or something happens to where we're still paying him and he's not our starting quarterback, I think Terry's actually okay with that. Even though we'll lose out on signing guys in the future because we're still paying them, I don't think that bothers Terry. So, like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But it was uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking about this earlier, and I just meant this from like a vibe standpoint, but it very much feels like we keep hearing about all these different secession plans that have been run through and stuff. This relates closest to me to like Jimmy G and Trey Lance.
Oh, God.
And you're looking at, and the reason I say that, Jimmy G had just kind of gotten a new contract, but he's hurt, and it feels like the perception of Jimmy G is that he could only take that team to a certain limit anyways, and that eventually they were going to need to find the guy who could really take them all the way and take them to actually finish the job. And obviously it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But it did because they got Brock the same draft. But, that process wasn't like demonized or anything in the media. Like this one is being demonized right now. And I think, it's people's main point seems to be around the whole age factor as to the big difference of those moves. Penix is seen as a guy that doesn't need to sit. He's older. One, at least Penix is like old because of injuries and not because he sucked and transferred around a ton. So like that's a big distinction that's different between him and other past old QBs. This is a post-COVID world. So COVID year is going to change that perception of what the normal age for a quarterback is. Like Rattler is 23, like Penix is 22. Like there's a lot of young QBs who are still perceived as guys that need to sit maybe a year, that are 23 now, and that's like going to kind of be normal with like the COVID year and just everything that we've seen, transfer portal and stuff like that. But I think that's like something that it would be something to complain about more, like at a different point, like 5-10 years ago, whatever. But like in today's game, I don't really think that that's that big of a deal anymore. But yeah, it's been interesting, and At this point, I am definitely hoping that they're proving everybody right because I'm just kind of. It's got to the point, like I said, with some of these narratives where I'm like, okay, we're not even like discussing this. Like it's getting picked apart so much now that people are finding issue with things that aren't actually an issue, and are like then trying to build up other things that don't exist either into these amazing things.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry about that, fellas. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but hey, I'm back here again. Did I miss anything?
Well, no, not really. Trey was just we were just discussing Penix more.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were still on Penix. Okay, awesome. Trey, favorite pick of the draft.
Oh, it's Dorless. Yeah, like not even close. I think my like potential to be the best D lineman of the three that were picked. Trice is like second, and I think like he's gonna be solid for us. Like I do think he will like contribute in terms of like getting actual play time and stuff like that. In terms of like how much production that contribution leads towards, I would just, we talked about it a lot since we were talking about edges, just always stressing like that year one edge production is not going to make you happy, and like just accept it and move on and you'll be fine, because that position is just a nightmare for anybody to transition to, like no matter how good they are. So, but I think Dorless' versatility is going to give him a lot more snaps, and it's just going to give him like just good matchups in terms of being able to see different guys on the line. Whereas I think Trice is definitely going to be more limited to like the actual like edge roll, like full time.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And least favorite pick?
Can't be Penix.
Yeah, no, that's cheap. It's Rook. Yeah, and like it's not even like totally his fault, but it's just the fact that his pick comes with the cost of a third, and then you look at everybody that was on the board there, and then you look at the fact that we arguably took two better D linemen later after him, and it just like really made the whole situation like
worse.
I'm just like, really, Terry? Like that's the guy? Like I'm like,
that's when you trade up for, like if you picked him at 43, like okay, man, I get it.
I mean, you were already there. You're already there. Whatever.
He's long.
At least you got 79 at that point. Like, like it's really all about losing 79 for that pick.
And, I swear, it threw me for a loop, Trey. I'm telling you, trading 79 to do that.
So I saw we moved up, and I got excited. I thought it was Cooper.
I did too. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're moving up for one of these DBs. Finally, like let's go.
Kool-Aid. I was excited. I was like, the fucking giant red Kool-Aid edits are gonna go insane, and no, didn't happen.
I could have sworn it was Newton. I thought it was
Cooper.
Yeah. And I just got to say, it was really funny seeing Falcons fans talk about like this man having a Jones fracture, like their favorite receiver of all time didn't get drafted with a Jones fracture. So just want to put that out there for people that are like, it's an injury.
It's gonna be awesome.
Like,
by the way, our boy Jack wants to put a couple of things out here. First and foremost, he is of course cool with the Penix pick. He's seen Desmond Ridder and does not want to see that ever again. He said. But McGarry protecting his blind side is one thing, and if Kirk starts these next 2 years, McGarry's contract runs out. Reset the board at right tackle.
Yeah, Penix better sit for that reason.
Just for that reason alone.
Like, protect the future.
Yeah. At Hunt, if you're trying to drop some pounds, don't go Michelob Ultra. Go Bud Light next, or Yingling Flight's brother.
Yingling Flights.
Brother.
What is it? I believe this is for you, Fleek, when you were going on your second round rant.
This is a Troy. I didn't say no names, big bro. I didn't say no names, but I will put. I'll put names on it. I'll put Richie and Troy Anderson for sure.
Yeah. For sure. I gotta say, like, I wanted to say, but I have a rule: you can't get mad about like 5th and 6th round picks. But the linebacker was my second choice.
Yeah.
Oh, mine was.
I'm like,
Well, because TJ Tampa was
That
still
was
right there.
that was
I mean,
my
his
choice.
linebacker class is brutal, and they chose a guy that like isn't even on most people's
Hometown, baby.
top 300 prospects. I was just kind of like,
What they say,
okay.
Blessed Trinity's finest.
Put the peach on it, man. Put the
Troy
peach on it.
Anderson's living in coverage this year.
Oh
He's
yeah.
the only one.
And this was for you, Hunt. Jace McClellan speeding Cordero Patterson into retirement on the teams versus Pittsburgh this year. That'll be worth it.
Hey, special teams, special plays, special players.
Amen.
And of course,
No. Let me say this right now. We were talking about this in the group chat. I understand. Michael Penix, if you happen to see this, because if I'm not mistaken, you haven't got your number yet. Listen to me. I don't know if you watched us last year. You cannot touch the number 9. Please do not put your hands on the number 9. I don't know if there was any other number you wore as a kid that you like. I don't know if you could do some mathematics. You could divide 9 by half. I don't know what you can do. But do not touch number 9. 4.5, 4.5. I would rather Michael Penix be number 45.
Hey, he has to be rocking 16.
He just has to take something ugly this year, and then he'll get something nice after that.
By the way, we got Mark is in the building talking about Hunt, talking about Trey Sean. Hey man, let's go. All right, man. So we talked about our least favorite picks and everything like that. I wanted to know, from you guys' perspective, did the Atlanta Falcons get better this weekend? Hunter, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I want to say yes because I like the idea of having like a QB succession plan and all that. So like I want to say yes.
Right.
And like obviously getting Trice and Dorless is like nice additions. But I'm wholeheartedly looking at this draft and I don't know if there's any guys that's going to start year 1. And there's a couple guys that probably won't start year 2, like in those earlier rounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fleet, what you got?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Hunter. Like, I feel like we got better, but like minimally, like not as much as we could have.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a future investment type of thing. I think Trice and Dorless really helped with that. Like me feeling like we got better this year because them being added into the mix of defensive line depth alone, like makes our defensive line better technically. So I would say yeah, but very like minimally.
All right, Treyway.
Definitely, yeah. I was not a fan of our D-line group, really at all. So even though I do think, I think I would have been fine with maybe 2 or like if we did 3, we kept 79 or whatever. But I ultimately am much happier with how that room looks. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be really nice. They really do now like have the ability to run some more of those like mint tight fronts and just some of those different odd fronts that Raheem was rolling out. So I did not like when looking at the personnel before. It was definitely kind of like,
how is that going to happen?
Yeah, the depth was
like,
bad.
We're gonna have to like get a forklift to get Anyamata off the field after the games because I don't know who's going to be
who's bringing him up.
Yeah, like who's spelling him and stuff like that because they are going to run a lot of stunts and things like that. They're going to be a lot more. They're going to be I think doing a lot more things in that regard that are going to exhaust the big guys. So
they got to manufacture that pass rush some more.
Yeah.
But as far as the offense didn't get better. I mean, okay, I'll say this. I'll go on record that Taylor Heineke is definitely not as good as Michael Penix. Like, so we got better at QB too, but in terms of like impact on the field, don't really feel like we did much. Interested to see how the running back goes. I think
Washington
now for sure Avery Williams is out the door.
Casey Washington. Sorry, damn.
Washington's not bad.
Ball winner from Illinois.
Frank Darby type beat.
Huh?
So what about you, Savion?
Oh, I wanted to get to Jack real quick because he wanted to put that in there.
Eli Apple coming.
We can't give Jack any more attention after that one.
Yeah, I think that might be done.
That's it for Jack tonight.
I think that might be it from Jack tonight. For me, no, I don't think we got better. I think we got better in 2026. I think we got better in 2027. I don't think we got better in 2024.
27.
I think we got better in 2025. I don't think we got better this year. No, I don't think we put. I mean, we got somebody that can. We got depth. We did. We got some guys that can develop. But yeah, so I mean, solid. But we didn't get better. They're not gonna be the reason why we make the playoffs. They're not gonna be the reason why we can win a playoff game. And shouldn't that be what we're gunning for right now? Is winning playoff games, trying to make sure that we are in the playoffs this year.
I think the second part.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the second part. I don't know about the first part anymore, man. I think the second part for sure.
Apparently, I don't know. I mean, I could have sworn the whole point of paying a quarterback $45 million, talking about what the dollars represent. That should represent going all in, should it not? That should represent, we're trying to win a bowl. You know what I'm saying? If you're putting that much equity, is that what we think of the quarterback position now? Oh,
I
think it was the
like you're saying, with that much equity, like what is the expectation on that player in terms of elevating this team from 7-10 last year to what they're supposed to be this year? How much of the investment in them comes, how much is that tied into it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be everything. I mean, the first thing they said when they got, like, when Raheem got here, he said, if we had better quarterback play, I would not be here. That's the first thing he said. He said, this is already a playoff roster. This should already be a roster. This should still be Arthur Smith's team, essentially what he said. This should still be Arthur Smith's team. It's just that Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke were so damn bad that opened up an opportunity for me. So, yeah, you pay your quarterback what? I think it's going to be $40 million for this year. It's $40 million for this year.
Yeah.
He better be all $40 million of that.
So does he have what he needs to deliver on his part?
That's where I think the disconnect is, because I think they think so.
Okay.
Well,
I think we all thought that the only thing that they were missing was a wide receiver too, right?
Which they had to be.
And that's Mooney.
And they see Mooney as a real wide receiver too. I think that's what's really come out of all of this is that they feel like they have the wide receiver too.
I mean, my thing is like, if Terry didn't think that we had the offense for Kirk to just drop into and become good, he'd be admitting that he's made mistakes. Because I mean, they're all first round picks. It's Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson right there. Like and then Darnell Mooney, you added him and pay him wide receiver 2 type money,
and more.
And then you traded for more.
They reworked the receiver room.
You add Charlie Warner, and
then they added Charlie Warner.
Yeah. Okay. So think about it like this, Savion.
Complete offensive philosophy overhaul. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if these players turn out to be who we think they would have been with better QB play, then we do have the offense that he needs to do it. If these players turn out to be who we think they are.
That is such a small margin of error that you are.
Oh, they have to be perfect.
And
don't get me
like is what has made all of Terry / Arthur Smith's moves frustrating is that they give themselves like the smallest margins ever.
Yes, bro.
Ever.
Like, okay. And sorry, Hunter. What were you about to ask?
I was just going to say, Savion, you covered the Vikings last season. Do you think our skill group is better than what they had in Minnesota?
No. I mean, quite frankly, you have you have Justin Jefferson, number one,
Yeah.
bar
Right.
none. And then once you get rid of Justin Jefferson, you have Jordan Edison still. You have KJ Osborne. You have TJ Hawkinson until he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the running backs weren't good, but Cam Akers and Ty Chandler, they were still making it happen in the back. They were doing enough to kind of keep it to where Kirk could still. You're not keying in on Kirk like that. So and even if you were, they would still beat you. It was insane to watch, but it was incredible to see that, like, how Kirk looked when everything was correct. Like those first 8 weeks, even without Justin Jefferson against the 49ers, just watching that game, I was like, wow. Kirk really, this is what we would expect from Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. And another thing you have to think about too.
Jefferson.
He played, let me see. I'm trying to remember when Kansas City was. I think Kansas City was game 3, so that was 5 games without Jefferson.
So he played 5 weeks of the best ball that he's probably played in the last 3 years without Justin Jefferson.
Oh, so we're fine. We're fine.
I'm trying to think because I don't want to be wrong.
So I was about to go to that same point. I was going to make that same point.
I want to say it was either 4 or 5. But yeah, he was playing his best ball. His best ball really against Green Bay when he got hurt. He was dealing that game.
Okay, it was.
Because if you take away
4 games without him.
So yeah,
we don't have Justin Jefferson.
If you take away Justin Jefferson, I think we go bar for bar with Minnesota pretty well with a better running back room.
Well, and a much better running back room because they were not able to get anything off the ground when it comes to their running game.
The thing is, if Kirk is healthy, I think we make the playoffs. But I never thought that Kirk was pushing us past anything more than that because he couldn't do it in Minnesota.
That's kind of where I mean, like, before Penix, like, I kind of was feeling like the same thing. You know, it's like, okay, like, we'll probably make the playoffs, but we're probably not going to go any further than that. And, like, now, even with Penix, I'm still like, okay, yeah, we'll probably make the playoff, but we're not going to go any further than that.
Unless Penix just, completely comes out and just is, gangbusters from the jump.
Oh. Thank you for saying that. Before we get out of here, because I know we're pushing up on that hour that we try to stay at, I do want to mention what I was going to say to you before the show, Savion, my theory. And I want to ask y'all, like, we all know the structure of Kirk's contract. Everybody's saying it's basically a 2-year deal, yeah. But, like, realistically speaking, how many years do y'all foresee Kirk Cousins being here? Or being our starting quarterback here? Let me phrase it that way, because who knows?
Yeah. 2 now.
I see
2?
I see 2.
Hunter, you think 3?
I'm gonna go. It's 2.5. I think he's gonna get like hurt or benched in his final one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like 38, 39 season.
Yeah, I think he'll try to run a third. I think they'll try to let him run a third, and then his arm will fall off like Matt Ryan and Eli and all the other quarterbacks post 36.
Yep.
Yeah. My thing was if he's healthy and he comes back like the same type of guy, then I think 2 years. But I like there's a world where something weird happens and like like Michael Penix is playing. I don't want to start these conversations right now.
Yeah.
There's a universe where this thing doesn't even last 2 full years. In my opinion,
I think the arm falls off year 2.
I think the arm falls off year 2 too. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, Mark. Like 1.5. That's what I'm thinking.
Like, I'm not worried about Kirk getting like re-injured. I'm more worried about Kirk's like ability to like put his plant foot down, like how he was able to before. And
he was looking good.
The amount of strength that he will have in his base moving forward, I think he's going to have to throw a little bit differently, and I think it's going to wear out his arm a lot quicker now than it would have. I think we're going to throw a lot more next year.
So,
Kirk
here's
also
my
has most attempts like in the league the past few years, doesn't he?
Yeah, so
Well,
I'm like, I don't feel like his arms got much left at all.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just pure attrition at this point. But what I'm thinking is one of the things that really shocked me about watching Kirk Cousins, because I remember watching Kirk Cousins, the few times that we saw him, and he's like, oh, he's a statue in the pocket. He was moving, his mobility in the pocket last year, being able to actually move and maneuver the pocket was surprising, because I'm like, I've never seen you do that, Kirk Cousins. I've never seen that out of you. He was able to step up in the pocket and actually find windows to throw the football. And he did it in a way where it was just efficient. And
Yeah.
when he got hurt, which is a freak way that he got hurt, which is why that year just sucks, because I really think that they could have done something that year. I really think they could have done something last year. But I've torn both my Achilles, so I know what it's like coming back from those things.
God.
It's all up here.
Yeah.
That first plant, and you saw him on the tennis court. Cool, fine, whatever. Do that when there's a 360-pound man coming at you full speed, hoping that 260-pound man coming at you full speed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just curious how it's going to go when guys are like diving at the ankles. Like that's what, like, can he?
That's what they have to do now.
Himself in the pocket while guys are coming at his ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question about Jack. If you want to pull that one up.
Yeah. I like this one.
Jack, you're unmuted. That's good.
With Michael Penix.
Oh, I love Jack.
About week 6, if Kirk gets hurt again. Come on, we got to ask the tough questions. Week 6 this year, can we put first of all, if that happens, I will come on here and I will say I am so sorry to Terry Fontenot, because that makes sense. It makes sense why your guy comes in. You guys obviously didn't. Obviously, the Kirk Cousins wasn't as as healthy as we thought he could have been beforehand.
Okay. So next year we already know that we have one of the easiest schedules in the league again, right? Like last year.
Tops. Yep.
If Jack is essentially asking me if I think Michael Penix is 2 games better than Desmond Ridder, yeah, I believe that. But and then is the scheme 2 games better than what Arthur Smith was drawing up out there? I don't know. These things in combination, are we just an overall better system offensively to where a guy could be dropped into a plug-and-play situation? Maybe. So I could see a world where we make the playoffs with Penix. And that's another reason why that the Kirk thing really bothers me if you like Penix. But that's just me.
So I'm going to have to combat you on that, because we're not the exact same team, because we're not the same exact team defensively. We can't really rely on that defense like we could last year. Not saying that not saying that you guys really relied on it, because I'm not going to say that I was here. I'm going to say I was here, watching all of them. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Are you saying world heavyweight champion Jimmy Lake can't lead a good defense?
World heavyweight champion is insane. World heavyweight champion is insane. But all I'm saying is, man, it's not the same.
And you're right.
Situation.
You're right. Now, that's another thing. I have to see what Raheem and Jimmy Lake are giving me on defense as far as scheme.
Right.
Because player-wise, I know we're probably not bringing back Bud Dupree. Probably not bringing back Calais Campbell. I don't know, though. I think they say I would
love to.
I think they want him back.
Yeah, like I would like to bring back Calais Campbell. I'm not sure where they stand.
I think Bud's gone. I think Bud was gone when we drafted Braylon Trice.
Agreed. I don't know. You're right. I want to see schematically what the defense does, what it looks like. Is this a bend but don't break? Is this an opportunistic defense? That's another thing I thought about. We didn't add any
we didn't add anybody we didn't add any ball hawks.
Yeah, we didn't add anybody to take away the ball on defense. And that was a big
White
thing
boy
I
out of
thought
North
we
Dakota
would need.
State.
What'd you say?
Huh?
White boy out of North Dakota State. Y'all
They-
better recognize.
Y'all better recognize.
The return special. You know what? You're right, Trey. My fault. I'm sorry. Speaking of that, actually,
Bro, just get ready.
Actually, Jack wanted to ask who was our great white hope in the UDFA pool. John Paddock from Illinois. That is our great white hope. Who was it?
Yes.
Trey said that we have the the Jimmy G Trey Lance dynamic going. That is our Brock Purdy, sir.
To Jack's earlier question about Penix, no.
Yeah,
I think we're a
we don't
playoff
have
team
it.
if
No.
Penix has to go in. It would,
I don't think we have it. I don't think we have it. I mean, didn't
6 weeks.
Tampa Bay get better? Did Tampa Bay get better this year? I mean, this offseason?
Do what?
I'm just saying. Didn't Tampa Bay get better this offseason? Did
Yeah.
Tampa Bay get better this offseason? You know what I'm saying? We weren't better than them last year.
Tampa might
Tampa
in
lost their
like 2
OC.
years. Tampa might have the best interior.
See, that's another thing.
in the entire
Dave
league.
Canales being gone is huge.
Like they
There
really
are
might
so
have the
many
best.
unknowns because, like, I have about Tampa too. The same questions you have about Atlanta. Not about defense, but like there being changes coordinator wise. Like we got to see what schemes are looking like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Just because I actually do think Penix needs to sit and will benefit from it.
I think he needs to sit, but I think he
100%
could do it.
I think
I think
week
we'd be
6
okay.
it'll be too much for him, and it could really mess up his timeline, especially if they're working on like his form and stuff like that needs work. So I'm praying if Taylor's on this roster still, which at this point people keep saying you get $7 million for cutting Taylor Heineke. The new number is you get 1.5. He took a restructure, which absorbed most of his old hit. So, like, at this point, we only get 1.5 for cutting him. I honestly think they do not want Penix in the field, like, at all. So, if Taylor's still here, I don't even think that Penix goes in at week 6. I think Penix goes in at week 16, maybe, something like that, like if things have gone terribly wrong. But, I don't think that early.
Got you.
Yeah. I think that may be good for this year. For this one, guys. We did good.
I mean,
we did good. We talked about a lot today.
We did. My gosh, and there's still much more to talk about too.
There's so much more to talk about. We didn't even.
It's a long off season, boys. It's a long.
We didn't even hit our list, but like you said, it's a long off season.
Long off season.
Hey, Philippe, man, where can they find you, bro?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Ron Rico Season, as it's spelled right there. I just be on there tweeting sometimes and making music and playing video games.
Beautiful thing. Treyway, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Trey3Sean, TRE3SHON, and also doing some staff writing at Sporting News. Thanks to the editor above me, at least in my camera angle here. And we are making some great content. This man is a real sicko, by the way. He's got
my gosh,
13 articles up about the undrafted free agents. Not talking about the people that were actually drafted. It's like a whole thread on the undrafted free agents. Make sure you guys are checking out all the work that is getting put in over there, because 95% of it is Savion.
Oh yeah, man's a machine.
Appreciate that. Hunter T, man, where can they find you at, man?
You can find me on Twitter, HThompsonFB. And you can also see me doing content over at Sporting News with the rest of this group. Shout out to Savion for that.
100%, man. Hey, Savion Mixon at MixonS _ NFL. I had it before I got kicked out of here, but it's okay. Yeah, we're over here at the Sporting News, continuously putting out content. I am thoroughly exhausted, but I do have something else for you guys tomorrow morning, because I gotta understand what the heck is going on with this Kirk Cousins thing. So shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for coming on, because Y'all did not have to sit here and spend this 75 minutes on this podcast with us, but hey, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for coming through. Hunter, Fleek, and Trey. Thank y'all for joining. And we are going to be out. We are hopefully going to be here next week talking more about everything that we can Falcons. Everything that we can Falcons. So, Fleek, Hunter, Trey, appreciate y'all. To everybody watching, peace out.
Peace out.